Detention Center, Mr. Mann, you have anything?
Just an update on the deal that we discussed with the jailer. I guess it was Sunday night, Monday. It was kind of a surprise to me as well, on that $90,000 deal. Kind of got to the bottom of some things that's not happening on Springview. The first thing is it's a state inmate and they're admitted. The state is liable for that hospital stay. That did not happen. To fix that problem, we had a meeting Monday morning with the Springview Hospital, with our staff, and Melissa here at the courts on processing those claims correctly. And this claim happened on the 2nd of March. And the story behind it, or what happened behind it, there's a couple of different stories. What the inmate is saying. About 8 o'clock at night, he came to the shift supervisor feeling ill with 103 degrees temperature. Typically that's some type of flu or some kind of bug. Well, when we got to the hospital, they ran some blood work on him. And he had claimed that during the course of the day at the animal shelter, he was cleaning some of the pens and he got some dewormer in him along with some feces. They ruled out that dewormer thing because that's the same thing they use for humans, and that would not have made him sick. But they did say that he had a bacteria that was caused by feces.
He didn't need deworming?
He didn't eat no dewormer.
Okay, just wondering. All right.
So they're still looking into that and trying to find out what the real story is. Inmates are claiming that a couple of days prior, the same inmate was digging in a garbage can, got some pizza out that possibly was contaminated, had pieces on it. But there's just so many different stories between the 4 inmates. We haven't got the true story on that, but we do know it was bacteria from feces that's caused this illness. So what we're doing also is our next volunteer training, we're going to do some reinforcement training on reporting process, no matter how small or how big it is, everything has to be reported, so that you don't have this enormous shock on like, well, you never heard about it, and also about responding to injury claims, no matter how small or how big it is. And the last thing, we're not asking for any money.
Barry's not here, yeah.
So, we have noticed a shifted trend of arrest. And those trends have went from failure to appear now to drugs, mainly meth. Don't really know what's causing the trend. My thought process on it is it's probably tax season. Got a little bit more money to spend. So we have increased lockups, where we're using a lot more detox cells, more overtime. So you'll see that this month. Failure to appear is being the 3rd now.
Brady did give a memorandum that he's going to be preparing a facility budget and operations presentation. Looks like full court with media and invitation as well. There's 2 different dates, May 8th at 4:30 or May 9th at 4:30. So if y'all would like to try to be there.
Trying to pick one of those two. He's trying
One of those 2 dates.
Thank you for that detailed report there, Mr.
Thank you,
Mann.
Mr. Mann. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
I do assume that as far as reporting something like that, there's a time, they got to do it in a timely manner. I mean, they can't do something and 2 days later say something happened. I assume that's correct. Yeah.
Typically, we have, depending on what the report is, we're obligated to report to the Department of Corrections within 24 hours. We make a final report to the Department of Corrections in 48 hours.
So as far as inmate,
Inmates should be immediate.
yeah, okay.
They go through their training prior to going out. They're told. Of course, this guy did not. And it, I mean, I guess if you're cleaning something up like that and spraying water, you're subject to get that type of exposure at any time. So we have looked at maybe increasing our PPE, which is personal protective equipment. They wear gloves now.
Yeah.
So we may have to up that to eye protection, maybe even a
Mask or
some
something.
type of respirator. If the feces is being sprayed up.
Garbage can.
Yeah, and then put a lock on the garbage can. John, I'm getting sick.
I'll tell you what, I'm about to die over here, I ain't gonna lie.
We need-
Jesus Christ, if I
we
hear
need-
that,
we need-
if
we
I
need
hear
to
that
try
word again,
this.
I'm done.
We need to drop this, guys.
Yeah.
We got to pack him
Drop
out of here.
this, no pun intended.
We call 911 in a minute.
This guy out on work release right now?
He currently now works for the sanitation department,
Could be eating other.
We eat every day.
Smorgasbord.
God. All right, can we move forward? Is that all right?
He needs to stay in jail.
Really, as long as you take care of that $19,000, that's all I care about.
That's
So-
not saying
There
much
you go.
about the jail food, is it?
So
If
why
he's
is he
eating
still
out of
getting
the
to go out?
He's reported to the inmate population that's all can get sick. But his report is that it was during cleaning. So
Yeah, all right,
All
well,
right.
confirm it either way. We just know it's bacteria caused by feces.
yeah.
So why does he still get to go out?
Stevie, did you get all that?
Why is he not staying in jail?
This just came alight yesterday.
So you said he was still going out on a garbage truck.
Doesn't mean he's not a good worker, Jackie.
Not necessarily mean that that's what happened.
Yeah,
That he
that's
dug
right.
out garbage.
What he claims.
What the inmates are claiming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That we told him. His story is, sticking to it, that it was because of the feces.
There you go again. All right.
Okay.
But I can't
Thank you,
understand why
sir.
he's still going out. You ought to stay in
Well,
jail.
Rob,
For report for you guys, month of March, we made 252 calls for service. For the year.
Excuse me.
In March, 760 calls for service. Another comment, I need to get this in the minutes to, our trucks is in next week in Tennessee, and that, the sign over that 2,200 national chassis. And then when I go put together,
that was for the decaling, right?
that they installed radios outside the field. They've done a lot of extra work.
Motion to do that.
What is it we're doing?
How much is that?
What was the number?
We've already accepted the bid, but outside of the bid, they installed all of the radios. and they-
Additional work.
They did additional work
Yeah.
for the,
And they did, some.
For the chassis.
Our decal package on our truck. So
And
I'm
did,
gonna drive the chassis back forward and transfer the chassis to them.
Oh, transfer the old chassis. Is that what the motion needs to be, to
Yes.
transfer the
The old chassis to them, okay.
second?
Mr. Elder,
yes.
Mr. Quayle,
Yes.
Mr. Wicker,
Yes.
Mr. Masters,
Yes.
Mr. Bishop.
Yes.
That's all I have, unless you all have anything.
thank you, Rob.
Thanks, sir.
Laurie?
Well, first, I just want to say we have met our first deadline for LEDC grant, which was April 1st, and it will be June 1st, so
Excellent.
I'm working on that. As far as the storm goes, Tuesday night, I went out yesterday almost to Casey County Line. There's a couple of barns down. And I know no weather has been in the county. They were supposed to, they were going out there today and going to send me a report. They did declare an EF1 in Boyle County, and apparently Channel 8 came out of Lexington, reported that it was in the gravel switch area as well. But I've not found anyone that is aware of any damage there. But again, they were gonna report to me or no. I know there were some utility lines down, and I think all of that was corrected quickly. I'm not aware of any other damage to personal property or personal injury.
Beach Fork Church had a big cemetery had a big, huge tree fall in it, but that's,
Yeah, there are.
yeah, that's also.
That leads to the signs. Apparently the signs did not sound in 5 areas, Bradford, Loretta, Calvary.
I heard the one at Calvary. Now, what,
Oh, you
the
did?
one night, yeah, went out to catch things on blowing away, and I did hear, I was gonna say, I usually don't hear it, but most time inside, but I was outside during the big
Okay.
part, and I did hear the one at Calvary.
So you said Braversville,
To dispatch that it did not.
all right, Braversville, Loretta, Gravel Switch, and where else?
St. Joe did not,
Bradford, Loretta, St. Joe, and I thought Calvary.
Unless it was went off earlier now, when I heard it, the storm was already there. It was, I mean,
Yeah, the
I
ones,
was out in the brunt catching things blowing away, so if it was going at that time, but
yeah, I guess all of Lebanon's
Brothers
worked.
did.
I heard though,
The one in Angel
didn't,
it was working, but it's had a weak battery, so it wasn't putting out full strength.
Are you talking about Loretta?
No,
Angel.
Oh,
which.
I gotta,
well, the battery wouldn't be, I don't mean this wrong, but the battery wouldn't be the issue. It might have a speaker drive or something like that. That's probably because, yeah.
Full capacity.
When's the last time we tested those?
Week before.
And they all worked?
Well, here's the funny thing. When the PD does the silent test, they initiate it, all right? And about 15 to 30 seconds later, the signal comes back. Well, up there at the PD, they do not have anything to show that the signal is coming back. They have no way to trace it.
No.
Now, this is what I'm being told by PD.
Actually, that is true. It's a one-way signal device, so yes, that is true.
At the EMS, we have a two-way signal.
Mhm.
So we can set them up individually, we can set them up in groups. And we have a screen where we see the signals and they'll put up a code if there's a situation that arises. Now, to my understanding, you tell me if I'm incorrect or not. They used to have that at the PD with the old console, correct?
Well, actually, that doesn't have anything to do with the console. It's a separate device altogether.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, my understanding is, since they updated the console, that one section, whether it's a computer or a laptop or whatever, so they can see the screen and see everything, it's not there. All they do is push a button, the button goes out, and the sirens go on or off. Now, granted, some may not have gone off, but then again, we don't know who's calling in. I know 2 in town when the rescue personnel call. Okay, so that's more of a confirmation. The other ones, I've been told that somebody keyed up a radio saying, we don't hear this, we don't hear that one. Okay, but other than that, I have not heard nothing personally directive. Now, please keep in mind, Saturday was a little blistery.
Yeah.
All right, how far does sound travel against wind? You're not going to hear as far, if it's traveling with the wind, you're going to hear. But if everybody's used to hearing it a certain way, that wind is anywhere from sideways to perpendicular, anything that's 45 or more out to perpendicular, you may not even hear it.
Well, 3 things. And I think we'll agree, 3 things. 1, we got to get them working.
Well,
2 is that people need to understand their outdoor warning. It's not indoor warning. The third thing is that a question I have for you guys is that, have you tested it from the EOC?
I am going down there tomorrow with Alex. We're going to each siren station individually and do an inspection. And then we'll do a test on there.
Well, yeah, but a test at the site is different than the test from the SAM or from that SAMI software, okay?
Correct.
So really what I'd like to see is, I just want to rule out operator error or anything like that. So I think we need to test that as a backup, okay? I would like to see us do an official test, and the initial test be from the EOC, okay? So that we don't, it's an official test, nobody gets surprised, but the EOC, it's activated there first to see what results we get. And then after you activate it, because it'll run just for a test, if you got 3 minutes, I think, something like that, 90 seconds, 60, whatever you're going to set on. After that initial test, do another test, okay, with the PD, and see if there's a difference. And I got a funny feeling you might find a difference, okay?
One thing we're also looking at is to, when we get this down to a monthly test, have dedicated people go to the actual site and physically be there and make sure everything's turning and make sure the amplitude is correct within, unless they're going out for decibel here. No, if the signal says good, but it's out there, you don't hear nothing. Is it actually good?
Yeah, so
we want to start people on site.
So you guys will put that out, y'all agree with that?
I've been working with dispatch on it, and we had determined we would start this monthly test
Okay.
next Tuesday at 6 o'clock, 7th Tuesday of the month. And we worked on the protocol, and I was identifying people at each site to listen for these. Well, then this happened. It was actually in the paper on the calendar that we would start, and I had a statement for the radio, and which included, please don't call dispatch, say you know this is a test, it's for outdoors, yada yada. But when this happened after the storm, and we know some of them aren't working, I'm not sure how to proceed now with this schedule.
Well,
It's not Tuesday.
here's
We've
the-
got to know they're working.
Well, you got
Yeah, we've got to verify, make sure they're working.
Yeah.
I also am under the understanding that the St. Joe one will not, they have to test it a different way. It has to be set off a different way. And that's something that needs to be addressed as well.
They tell me.
Why's it got to be set off a different way?
Well, each one has a code.
Yeah, I understand that.
And
Is it
when
not
has a
programmed
code,
in?
then it's not programmed. Yeah.
It's not programmed in to the current systems.
Oh, well, that's not a big issue. That can be done.
Yeah,
Right.
they got the
We just
codes.
have to assign a number. And
Yeah.
it has to be
Well,
programmed.
that can be resolved simple, because what they'll do on that software, as you said, as Gary said, they can go and they just highlight. They click, whether it be Bradfordsville, Lebanon, whatever, Loretta, they just click. They can set them off individually. They can set off opposite end of the counties, or they can set them all off all as a group, okay? So St. Joe, that code just needs to be added into that SAMI software.
Well, they have it where they can enter it manually.
Yeah, well, that's no good. Yeah, it's no good. Hell, I can't
It'd be
remember my password on my computer. I sure as
Like I
I
said,
couldn't remember that.
we're in the midst of storm season, and I know we've been talking about this, and not putting blame anywhere, it's just, we've addressed it and addressed it and addressed it. We gotta make sure they're all working. A lot of people have the smartphones, and we get our alerts, but a lot of elderly don't. They don't have the smartphones
And
and things, so.
it's, I tell you what, when they go off here in Lebanon, I mean, it's
I agree.
nice. It's just nice to know. But, so,
I think we need to really address it and make sure they're working, and make sure it's just a one-step process when we need to set these off.
Like I said, going up tomorrow to verify everyone and see what's going on, and start getting them on, everybody monthly test, and start getting them on like a minimum of a quarterly maintenance check. Each one gets physically inspected and tested once a quarter, so that we can have accountability.
and if you need any help in regards to making sure that the St. Joe code gets entered into the,
Well, I have a code.
do you know how to enter it into the computer? That's my point. If you need some help, let me know. I'll get that done for you. Okay, that's not an issue.
Give you the code and
I didn't say I would do it, but I know a guy, okay?
I
So,
don't.
yeah.
And like I said, Lori, I do have some people from Raywick and St. Joe that I've talked to, and they're willing to call in whatever they need to do to make sure, when we sound these and test.
What about the siren out at Rosewood?
Bradford Switch, Bradfordsville.
Yes, it worked.
Did it? Good.
Yes.
Thank God.
I could hear it.
And the city.
City work.
Okay.
Yes,
Sounds good. Just get a hold of me, Gary, and we'll go.
Is Alex going to be able to work on this?
We're working tomorrow.
I know he has a job.
Yes.
I think he's off on Fridays, isn't he, Gary?
I ain't gonna say yes nor no.
I think he's on 14.
I'm so far out of the loop on some things, I don't think
I think.
Yeah,
he-
just, you know what we need to do, move forward, but I will say this, give me a call, we'll get that program, St. Joe programmed in there. The other thing is that, outside look, put something together to where we can test that EOC, okay? And that'd be the first thing I do, just to make sure.
Because St. Joe's is probably working, because we just put all that in last year. But if it's, like I said, they didn't know how to set it off, is my understanding, so.
What about Raywick?
Raywick sounded, and I could hear it from my house, and it's pretty good distance.
I think it is.
Because you can hear it when it rotates towards you. Of course, St. Joe's, I would be able to hear a lot better. But I think, like
Do I
some of
need-
us need to get that
Do I need
addressed.
to get you a person in the Calvary area to contact, or? you need
I'll try to
somebody
find somebody,
Okay, I'll
or
contact
some bodies.
Or if you can't, I'm sure Masher Quail will be willing to stand out there at
Yeah.
8 o'clock or whenever you're gonna do it, so.
It was blowing up, that's why, maybe why I heard it, because it was blowing toward my house. It might have been why I heard it.
That was a dog barking.
Gary?
He'll be laying in the yard.
on John Arthur's suggestion on certain organizations helping them out, like I.e. Rescue Squad. I'm gonna tell you right now, from state insurance, you cannot do PR like that with DOT function unless law enforcement requests this and on scene. So, in other words, if you want.
I guess we'll leave rescue squad out and we'll just use the fire departments. That's easy enough.
So,
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah,
That's cool.
just
Just be,
check with Rick County and
Yeah.
see if they're covered.
okay,
And I know rescue's not.
sounds good.
Thanks, Gary.
Appreciate it.
I apologize.
Oh, that's all right. You only do what you can do.
Yeah, what you're planning to do for testing, a second Tuesdays?
The second Tuesday at 6
Six.
p.m. was
I'll
the
just-
preferred time.
Okay,
starting
well, I
April
mean-
10th.
Okay, April 10th.
So I hope that we can get any work done between now and then.
What time are you gonna do that? 6?
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you all.
Okay.
Second Tuesday of every month.
Got 2 court cases right now, so we're pretty jammed up in the shelter. Something we do about it.
No worries.
Basically, the majority of all there on court cases.
Can do.
Thank you, Kate.
Thank you, Kate.
Thank you, Ms. Turpin.
Judge, we have Deputy Ray Gardner here. I didn't know if he had anything or not.
Ray, Mr. Gordon, you got anything?
No? Oh, okay, I was just checking.
Old business, new business. We do have a budget transfer for EMS for the ambulance. Need a motion.
Second.
Bishop. Yes. Mr. Coyle.
Yes.
Mr. Elder.
Yes.
Mr. Whitney. Unanimous.
Anybody else have anything?
Pay the bills.
Pay the bills.
I've got one thing I'd like to bring up. It's not on the agenda or anything, but it's new business. There's been a lot of conversation going on about Maker's Mark and so forth out in the community and so forth. I can tell you this, I grew up less than a quarter mile from Maker's Mark, okay? Till my mom and dad threw me out. But bottom line here is that I want to make it clear, the court has never voted on any issue in regards to within the last month or what, we don't vote, okay, in regards to executive session we attend and so forth. But the main points I want to make that just to make sure there's good information, people have solid information because, everybody has Facebook but me, okay? and
Me.
on you. And there's a lot of things going around, but, Maker's Mark, first let me say this in behalf of Maker's Mark, they're a solid company. They've been here for a long time. Actually, they're probably, if not they're one of the highest paying companies we have. I think they start out around $25 an hour, something like that.
$27.50.
$27.50, that's even better, plus benefits and retirement. So there's a lot of good people, men and women that work down there, and they pay a large amount of taxes to this county. Now, one of the issues that we had that people were talking about is the location. I think I can speak for myself, but I'm sure that, bottom line is that I, for one, will, we want to make sure that I'm willing to work with Maker's Mark. I'm willing to give them an opportunity, but it's got to make sense. It has to make sense, first of all, for the community. I do not want Maker's Mark sitting on top of a subdivision, sitting on top of the development or anything. Again, I grew up a quarter mile down the road, great neighbors, but this day and time, things change. So if there's a place out there that doesn't truly affect subdivisions, development, and so forth, might be an option. The other portion that, as a magistrate, that I have to make a decision in is that what do we provide and what do we get? It has to be a win situation for both parties. One thing I did is that I took a look and over some of the items that have been discussed, such as the building of new warehouses and so forth. And, when I look at it and I look at the revenue that we're talking about, okay, and that's something we have to look at is revenue, okay? As you guys know, a lot of people know, this county's facing a lot of issues. We've got the state pension. We've got every employee. We're having to increase in our pension. It's going to cost us probably additional $500,000 a year, okay? We've got departments and so forth. Our costs continue. We've got the jail, which the per diem has not increased. So that's a large, we have to pay for that. So this court and the judge, I want to commend them. They do a great job of managing our taxpayers' money. We have not increased taxes. We have fought against increased taxes. We've tried to manage the money because, hey, we pay them too. But with that being said, I think we have to keep an open mind to opportunity and to the future. Maker's Mark also brings a lot of notoriety to Marion County, a lot of inspiration. Anywhere you travel, people know that name, and it's associated with Marion County. And anything we can do to enhance that, I think we need to look at. But looking at the tax revenue standpoint, I was looking at it and just going by some of the numbers that we would receive. For example, if we worked with an IRB, which is a revenue bond with Maker's Mark, and you look at it, and these are approximate numbers, so don't hold me exactly to it. I'm off a little bit, maybe one way or the other. But anyhow, it's pretty dang close. But you're looking at about an average of total revenue of $50,000 per new warehouse built. $50,000, okay? I think they say they can build about 2 a year.
2 a year.
So that's $100,000, okay, per se, after year one, $100,000. So just through year 10, if you consider they can build 2 a year and they're talking about building 20, okay? If you take that over a 10-year period, you're talking about $5,500,000 in revenue to this county. And it's just not the Marion County Fiscal Court. I want people to understand this. If you take those information, here's how that tax breaks down. The Marion County Fiscal Court gets about 10%, technically 10.9, but 10%, that's $550,000 that we receive in revenue that helps us control the taxes. The Marion County Board of Education, in that 10-year period, will receive somewhere over $3 million, okay? Now, a question I do have about that, and that's something we'll move forward, is that, maybe we can, not only do we get the $3 million for the Board of Education, maybe we can work with the Board of Education on where that money goes to. Maybe we see if they can pinpoint it toward programs such as maybe school nurses or maybe aid or assistance to the high school teachers or the middle school teachers maybe we put it in drug awareness programs. But my point is there's about a little over $3 million in 10 years. The library, which my mother worked at for years, I'm a very big fan of the library, $330,000 additional revenue in 10 years. The health department, $165,000 in additional revenue. The Marion County Extension Office, $220,000 in extra revenue. And the Marion County Airport, $55,000. Okay? Now, if you take that over the course of what they're looking at or what they're potentially offering, and here's the thing, nothing's been decided. And if it is decided, it will be decided in an open meeting where each and every magistrate and the judge, if he chooses, will vote openly. That's how we do. That's the law, and that's how we run. We don't hide from anything. But if you look at this over a 30-year period, realistically, the potential, and it could be a little more, it could be a little less, but the potential is $24,500,000 of revenue to these agencies. Now,
Let me add something to that. That's just talking about the houses themselves. That's not including the additional labor and everything else it takes to do that. And that's a large sum in itself.
well, and we all know, let's be real, folks, you drive by Kentucky Cooperage out here, what do you see? It's packed. They're going wide open, 7 days a week. The bourbon industry has grown tremendously, and everything and all the reports show that it's going to continue to grow substantially, which means more jobs, which means, think about it, folks, $27.50 an hour job with insurance and benefits. That is a life-changing opportunity for Marion Counties, for your children, your grandchildren, for my family, whoever. It's life-changing opportunities. It's an opportunity that they can own that house, that nice house they want, or that piece of land, or whatever it might be. So those are the things that we as elected officials have to take into consideration, and I hope that we do. With that being said, I can assure you, again, there will be no votes taken, there will be no decisions made unless it's made in the open public for the press and for anyone else that wants to come. And we will make those decisions, and we'll make them based on the betterment of this county. And when we say the betterment of the county, I mean the betterment of the people, because that's who puts us in here. And that's what we're here for. By the people, for the people. And anybody has to question that, feel free to call me or come by my house. I'll be more than happy to talk.
I'd like to add one thing, and for instance, when Toyota came, not only was Toyota here, but all the surrounding industries, and look what we got off of them. If they can do maybe what, anyway, the more they expand, we might get some offshoots from some secondary industries, some suppliers, some bottle makers, storage houses. I mean, I don't know where to go with that, but if they're here, they gotta have people to support them, support companies, truckers.
And the key point here is that, again, and let's make it clear, and I'm speaking for myself here, okay? I'm speaking for myself. Again, it has to be a location that is justifiable, that is feasible. It has to be a location that's not going to affect, we have to find a location that is not near a subdivision development, city. That's what we're here for.
Guys, I thought about something on this, and I don't know where we're gonna go with it. Hopefully we can find a place. But does anybody really know the distance affected?
No, but at the same time, I for one, you're gonna look at that. We're all gonna look
I
at
know
that,
there's an area affected, but I thought about today wondering about it. There's a lot of warehouses in Loretta, and there's some people being affected down there, but I'm wondering how far out it actually does affect.
And the point is that as elected officials, we are privy to information at times that obviously the general public, because of our position, and it's our sworn duty to attend to that information and retain that information in a proper manner. With that being said, what I can say freely is that there's a tremendous opportunity for expansion here. And when you're talking about adding jobs at $27.50, $28 an hour, I don't know about y'all, but that's some pretty good money. Pays a lot better than being a magistrate, I'll tell you that. So
It equates to about $65,000 a year base pay. Time you get your 401k match, your bonuses and all, it's about $65,000 a year.
Yeah.
It's a good job. 21 years old, high school diploma, no special training. That's a good job.
Well, we're a ways away, and there's a lot of negotiation if something does happen or whatever. But again, just remember, it'll be in an open meeting, open public.
Well, like you say,
Oversight.
industry owes it to the people to grow in a responsible manner,
That's correct.
and the people owe it to the industry to try to let them grow. Now, that's a fine line. When we have to figure out a place to work, make it work.
That's right. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, it won't be because,
We tried it.
right, it'd be the right thing to do.
Exactly.
Motion to pay the bills?
Thank you, Mr. Elder.
With additions, if there are any.
Mr. Elder,
Yes.
Mr. Masterson,
Yes.
Mr. Bishop. Yes. Mr. Quayle.
Yes.
I've got one more thing.
Oh, my gosh.
No, this is a good thing. This is a good thing. The Central Kentucky Head Start's having a child abuse awareness walk, okay? I don't know if people realize how much child abuse really affects so many people in Marion County. But anyway, they're having a walk for awareness. I'd like to donate $250 of my community project funds toward that walk, and I would appreciate, it's for informational brochures, T-shirts, and so forth to hand out to people. So if anybody'd like to assist me, that'd be great.
I would like to join in on that
Do 250
same
as well.
amount.
Thank you, Craig.
I've got 100. Run a little light.
I do 250 myself, Chair.
Every bit helps.
I'll do 100.
Thank you, Master Wicker. That's a motion?
Second.
Mr. Elder,
Yes.
Mr. Quayle,
Yes.
Mr. Masterson,
Yes.
Mr. Wicker,
Yes.
Mr. Bishop. Yes. Unanimous.
Is that everything?
No. Do we need to approve the minutes of that other meeting?
We did that at the beginning,
Not the
special call
first one.
meeting.
We did that? Okay.
Motion to approve the minutes of special call meeting?
Second.
Yeah, you're right.
Mr. Elder.
Yes.
Mr. Masterson,
Yes.
Mr. Quayle,
Yes.
Mr. Wicker,
Yes.
Mr. Bishop.
Yes.
Unanimous.
While I got some money, I want to donate $1,000 to the Girls on the Run, because I shorted you last time.
Yes, he did, but we didn't. Motion?
Second.
Mr. Elder,
Yes.
Mr. Quayle,
Yes.
Mr. Wicker,
Yes.
Mr. Masterson,
Yes.
Mr. Bishop. Yes. Unanimous.
Anybody else?
Would y'all like to stay a while, or would y'all like to go home?
MTA.
Second.
I asked